William Jones, making videos about leaving religion. The purpose of the videos is to get you to think. Turn your brains on and think. Use logic, use reason, and realize that religion is fake. Now for this video, the topic will basically be the differences or the pros and cons between leaving religion versus staying in religion. Let's just kind of look at it, since most of us watching here have already left religion. We've been in it and we want to leave. And I don't think many Christians or believers that watch the videos and want to comment and say things, I don't think most of them realize that most of you, or most atheists and most of you that watch my page, you were in religion and you left it. So there's no need in telling you to read some scripture or to pray or to ask God to open your heart, because you've been in it, you lived it, you grew up in it, and you're done with it now. So that's the basis of that. Before I get into the video, y'all hit the like button. That button is like the thumbs up. Hit the like button to get the algorithms out there. The last one y'all did pretty good with that. But if you're watching the video, hit the like button. All right? And just starting out real quick, I'm just going to say this real quick. About a week or so ago, there was a incident on Facebook about the brother Ricky Swink. And y'all seen me in pictures with him. I promoted his videos begging for change. And it started out, the brother had passed away. And I'm like, what? So somebody hit me up like, yeah, Rick is gone. I'm like, has it been confirmed? And they was like, well, no, but that's what people are saying. I'm saying, well, and I go to his page and people posting rest in peace, Ricky Swink, and all this other stuff. I said, until somebody's seen the body or they confirmed it, I'm gonna wait. And sure enough, it was a misunderstanding, and somebody contacted him. He had turned his phone off, some other things happened, and the brother is fine. He did a live post about it, live Facebook about it and everything. And the brother is fine. I hit him up, text him later after the hype calmed down, said, bro, I just couldn't believe it until I wasn't gonna believe it. And I shouldn't have to believe it. If it's true, then it's true. I ain't gotta believe it. I'd rather know than it's gotta be true. And it wasn't. So Rick is fine. Nothing wrong with that, brother. I said, we got too much work to do. I hear you be dying. We ain't got time to be dying. Die later. We got stuff to do. You feel me? And even when I watch some other atheist programs, and they talk about believing in God, and they'll say, well, I don't believe there's a God. People are like, well, what would have to happen for you to believe in God? And to me, that's a crazy statement, because if something happened, I'm at the point now where I did believe in God, so you'd have to take me past belief into knowing there is a God. So there's absolutely nothing you could do to make me believe there is a God, because if it's true that I don't have to believe there is a God, I know there is a God. And people don't have to use stupid references about, well, you breathe oxygen and you don't see that, but yet we see wind knock over houses, knock over trees. We seen what happened to the Bahamas. That was wind. Oxygen is comprised in that wind, carbon dioxide and nitrogen. That's wind. I can do this because of the air. I can blow bubbles underwater and see the air come up. So that's a stupid analogy to if you're going to use even air which can't be seen, but let feather, leaves be in it and dust and what have you, and we see it sweeping up. So we see what's going on. You see that? We can see something like that. The people that are on that beach in some country, and they stand behind the 747 on the runway, they're on the beach and it's on the runway, and when it churns up, it blow them all in the water. We see the effects of wind. We see it knock over houses. We see it knock over, parts of a state. We see that. Nobody will disagree with that. But I don't see reports on TV talking about, we found God. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody cares because it's not real. So if it was real, like, do you believe Dorian hit the Bahamas? No, I don't believe Dorian hit the Bahamas. Dorian hit the Bahamas. There's nothing to believe. It happened. It's a fact. It happened, and people are living with the consequences after the fact. It's after the fact, not after the belief, after the fact. Okay? So there's nothing you would do to get me to believe. I will never believe again. I have to go to knowing. Knowing. And that would just be like, oh, there is a God. Okay, cool. Now, if there is a God, now there's no need, you don't need me. Promote yourself. Promote yourself. You don't need me to tell people about you. If you're real, promote you. Do you. And whatever it is you want. But I haven't seen this, so I will not believe under any circumstances, because belief is weak. Belief only means you don't know. It's weak. Weak. You believe when you don't know. So if y'all want to take me from where I used to be as a Christian, then you got to take me to showing me a God. He got to show it to me and say whatever. Endow me with supernatural powers so I can actually lay hands on the sick and do things. And I will never tell anybody again, I believe there is a God. I know God. How? He empowered me. He received this power. Whack. Be healed. Knock you out. Whatever. I fly away and you see it and you know. No more belief. So let's get back to the topic at hand. Let's talk about the benefits of leaving religion, and being in religion. And let me give me a sec. One thing, if I can think about religion two things. I'm gonna mention the first one. One is, like most of you, I'm upset about all the money I lost. If I can get back to 22 years of tithing and offering and whatever else they was stealing from me, that'd be fine. That'd be reparations to get all the money back I gave to this falseness and never received nothing in return. If you sow, I sowed a lot of money. I didn't reap no money. And me working overtime that's not me reaping money, that's me working overtime. If you're talking about, if I'm reaping something, that means like when you plant a field full of corn or cabbage or wheat or watermelon, I don't care what it is. When you plant that, you plant it and you water it and what have you. You don't have to be in the field all the time. The natural things are going to occur, and at the end, you've sowed and you reap the whole field, the whole harvest. We're not seeing people reaping no money. They've been in church 20 years and still broke. They've been in church 20 years and still get a new car every tax season. They move every year or two. They always need to borrow some money. They're always in a bad predicament. They always got to get a second job, but yet they're giving 10% of their gross of where they're working to the church. So one benefit I can say is when you leave religion, you keep, I ain't gonna say 100% of your money, you keep the percent of your money that the government gives you after you're taxed. Unless you're under the table, and that's a whole other thing. They don't know about that. All right? Another thing I would love to take back is all the Sundays I gave, Sunday mornings, waking up, me and the wife, and trying to get 5 kids ready. And I want to be on time, and she was one of the ones that like to kind of lag behind, and it didn't matter doing your hair for hours, makeup, to sit and talk to nobody for 3 hours, and we wasting 3 hours sitting there in church. We done argued on the way to church. We done argued in the house when we ain't talking in the car, and in front of the kids, and then hug your neighbor. You don't hug the person, you don't hug your spouse. You hug the person in front of you, behind you, on the side. We won't even give eye contact. You know what I'm saying? We mad going to church and all this Holy Ghost, but you ain't even talking to your own spouse. And then I could have slept in. I really needed that sleep. Because you've been pissed because you had to wake up. If the alarm clock waking you up, you still supposed to be asleep. That's the weekend. You go back to work Monday, your car's still dirty. We used to dog the people. They washing their car on Sunday, cutting their grass. And then you trying to figure out how to cut your grass through the week while you working so you can make it to Bible study on Wednesday. And where I was, sometimes stuff going on Friday. And when I was at Creflo Church doing evangelistic ministry on Saturday, and then got to be there Sunday, And God forbid you at a church that got two services on Sunday, and you lose your whole Sunday entertaining people with dinner and what have you, and before you know it's Monday, you back at work. No wonder Christians are mean. You don't get no time to yourself. And if you're in the choir and all this, you got to go to choir practice and practice all this mess through the week, when you could be using that time for me time for real, instead of using it for the myth. Talking about Jesus who ain't gonna do nothing for you because he doesn't exist. That's another thing, you know. The one thing people do miss is they miss the community of church. You know, they met a lot of people in church. So, you know, a lot of people you know when you're religious are in the church. Sister such and such, well, you're the sister this and brother that, and you know, deacon this and deacon that, and everybody you know in the church. So when you turn your back on the church, you have literally turned your back on family. That's not church no more, it's family. And now the family sees need to bring you back into the fold because now Satan has your mind. So that's one of the cons of leaving religion is, you know, the people that you've loved and trusted and been close to for years now become the people you can't even talk to anymore. You can't deal with them anymore because they think you're possessed by the devil. When you're not possessed by the devil, this is the clearest point you've ever had in your life when you walked away from Jesus and God and the Bible. When you walked away from religious, that was the freest you ever felt and you feel good. But you can't share it with anybody because everybody you know is religious and thinks that you are under the influence of the devil. True? Another benefit of leaving religion is you can finally be you. You don't have to portray this facade that you're something you are not. You can be you and not care what other people think about you based on their religious beliefs. Because if you're not connected to it, you don't care. No different than when you was a Christian, you didn't care what the Muslims thought. You didn't care what the Hindus thought. You didn't care what the Mormons thought about you. That was you was only concerned about what your Christian friends thought about you. But now you don't have to care about that. And I remember back when I was young in Christianity and the wife and I, the power got cut off, and we were sitting around trying to figure out where we're going to get the money to pay this bill. And you know, nobody knows about it, nobody cares. This only affects us in our household. We got kids and nobody wants to be without power, bottom line. So I don't know if we borrowed the money from a parent or whoever, but we got the bill paid and cut back on. I'm like, wow. So we kissing ass to all these people, but when our stuff get cut off, nobody cares. But we impressing these people trying to be something that we didn't know that we're not. You know, you want to have a drink, but come on, y'all, let's be real. You want to have a drink, so you do have a drink, but you hide that you're drinking. You want to smoke a cigarette, but you do smoke a cigarette, but you hide the fact that you're smoking cigarettes. You want to smoke some weed, so you smoke some weed, but you hide the fact that you're smoking weed. You want to go even deeper? You want to have sex, and you're single. You having sex with the dude right there if you're a female, or with the chick right there if you're a male, or with the dude right there if you're a male, and the chick right there if you're a female. And y'all hiding it, and both of y'all, hey, hallelujah, hallelujah. You hiding who you really are behind this false religion. You can't be you. Then it's all shocking when somebody find out, did you know the choir director is gay? You didn't know that the first 2 minutes you saw him directing? He ain't fooling nobody. We all know the best damn choir directors, most of them gay. There's a lot of gay stuff going on in the church, but they gotta hide all of this mess in order to please the religion. And some have just gone to the fact of having gay churches. Why? Because you can't be you behind this book, behind this religion, behind all this falseness. It's just not real. You can't be you. You know, I know that when I was all religious, and stuff would jump off, and you used to go to YouTube, see the videos, and when people get hot, they start cussing, using the F word, everything you want to say. I'll beat your ass and all of this, and they even actually fight. Come on, this is the real you. Oh, don't make me put Jesus to the side. You ain't got to put Jesus to the side, because there ain't no Jesus. This is just you acting like you holy. Acting. I'm going to be the bigger person. If you are being the bigger person, it's just because that's what you're doing. But there's no superpower behind you making you do that. That's just what you're doing. If you're an ass, you're an ass. Bottom line. Because you got a lot of people in church, they're an ass. They're just a Christian ass. They don't want you sitting in their seat. When they got positions of authority, they want to rule with that authority over everybody else and cut people here. You can't sing in the choir. You not gonna sing the lead. You not gonna be a usher. They use that. They're an ass anyway. You are who you are. It's just the religion makes people act fake, but you are who you are. So leave the religion and be who you are. I mean, some of y'all, you want to go to the club. If you're at the age where you can go to the club and have fun, go to the club and have fun. You want to go somewhere, but you don't want to have a drink because you're a couple of your church people there? See, that's being fake. That's being fake. You want to have a drink, but you can't because you there. And chances are they want to have a drink too, but they won't because you there. And y'all need to cut the mess out, just go and have a drink. And somebody over there hitting the blunt, you know you want to hit the blunt, and you're going to hit the blunt behind their back, and hit the goddamn blunt. That's what you want to do anyway. Do it. With this falseness called sin. There ain't no such thing as sin. Sin is a religious myth. And people who ain't even know, I was sinning. No, you ain't. Sinning is for those who believe that the book is real. There is no sin. That's foolishness. That's something they made up to keep you in the confines of religion. Oh, what you did is called a sin. We don't say that in the animal kingdom when the crocodile snatches old wildebeest underwater and drown him and eat him. We don't call that a sin. That ain't murder. He didn't murder him. Oh, well, that's nature. And they don't. No. When the lions run those animals down and kill them, we don't call that a sin. That's their nature. That's what they do. When a python wraps around something and squeezes it to death, and wait till every time that animal it takes a breath, every time it inhales, that python squeezes tighter. So when it goes to exhale, there's nothing there. They suffocate them, then eat them. That great white shark that's eating something, that seal didn't ask to be eaten. We can go all through that. Them fish didn't ask to be killed, all this stuff. This is nature. This is just nature. It's how it works. It's not sin. We have laws. We got to follow the laws. And as humans, we've established rights. So don't come in my house. If I paid for something, don't come stealing my stuff. We call that stealing. It's not a sin, it's stealing. Right? We've been over all of this killing. We've been over all this raping. We've been over all of this stuff before. You don't have the right to punch somebody in the face because you're upset. Ooh, they do it again, I'm going to punch them in the face. You can punch them in the face, but I have seen with my own eyes a judge ask a person in court, they said, so why'd you punch him in the face? And the girl said, because she was playing me. And the judge said, lock her up. So you wasn't in no danger, but she was playing you. So when other folks was around and you felt like you need to be respected to a certain level, and she didn't do that, so you thought you had the right to punch her in the face, and you did. That's what we have laws for. It's not sin. You're breaking the law. And they know, that's not a Mosaic law. Thou shalt not punch another in the face. That's not a Mosaic law. Thou shalt not hack someone else's computer. Thou shalt not, have, if you're a man, thou shalt, or whoever, thou shalt not have sex with those under the age of 18. This is the law. Thou shalt not do 20 miles over the speed limit because that is a super speeder ticket. That's not in the law. Thou shalt not be an aggressive driver. See, this stuff is not in there. You understand what I'm saying? So another benefit, let's talk about more benefits of, well, another benefit greatly was you have the right to, one, believe what you want to believe. And when I say people, oh, you believe in something, well, yeah, I can believe in things, but I don't have to believe in some imaginary superpower that knows the thoughts of every being and supposedly in control of everything, even though they don't choose to stop those who do wrong against others and allows these things to happen. I don't have to believe in that foolishness, but I can believe in real things. I believe I made a deal with this person and they're going to come through on the end of the deal. So I'm going to give to them this product and they're going to give to me the money. I believe that. You know? You can believe whatever you want to believe, and there's no flaw in that. But when you start believing in people that don't exist and then want to condemn people to some imaginary torment for eternity because they don't believe in something that doesn't exist that you can't prove, that's foolishness. And this when we start to go into it's a psychological problem. This is a psychological problem because you're believing in fairy tales and now your fairy tale has power over somebody else. Ooh, they was in a car accident. Why? Because they didn't believe in God. How many people that believe in God were in car accidents? What is the benefit, really? It could be a whole other video. What is the benefit of being a Christian versus not being one? Please tell me, name something that is a benefit being a Christian versus not being one. Well, and then watch this. Well, when we die, we gonna go to heaven in the real world, not in the storybook form, because you can't prove heaven. I had somebody in one of my comments, whoever he is, that was somewhere else in another post, where God is in heaven and you ain't seen heaven, you ain't been to heaven, you ain't seen God, you ain't talked to God. So, I mean, come on now, you're talking about something you heard from someone else that was never shown to you personally, right? Because I hate having to tell a story second person. And when people ask me something, I'll be like, look, I'm one of them straightforward people. I'll be like this. I'm real straightforward like this. Look, they be like, so what happened? I said, look, I'm going to tell you all I know. Do you understand? Yeah, I'm going to tell you all I know. Okay. All I know is they was in a car accident and they took them to the hospital. So are they alive? Oh, I just told you, I'm telling you all I know. That's all I know. When I said that's all I know, if I would have been like, they was in a car accident, somebody went to the hospital, this person died, they were in surgery, I didn't say that. So if I said they was in a car accident, they went to the hospital, that's all I know. That means don't ask me anything else about that situation because that's all I know. Now, if I seen it, that's totally different. I didn't see it, I heard it. This is what I heard. And I started that. This is what I heard. I can't confirm it. Just like when they said Ricky Swink was dead. So has anyone confirmed it? No. No one has confirmed it. No. So right now it's a rumor. No one's confirmed nothing, so I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon because nothing has been confirmed. You got to confirm something before I jump on and say rest in peace, brother, all that, whatever. But this is all I know. Now you're talking about God is in heaven and Jesus on the right hand. Have you seen it? No. But he talks to me. In your head, or, I mean, when he's talking to you, or other people saying, who was that talking? Or is it just you saying, oh, hold up, he's talking? Because if you got to say, hold up, he's talking, and no one else can hear him talking, that's psychological. That's not revelation. That's psychological. Now, if they whisper something to you, I saw them whisper something to him, but they're whispering or saying something in your head and everybody else is around, and he's not saying it. That's psychological. That's not real. Come on now. So I'm just saying another thing about this whole thing. You're telling stories second, third, fourth hand. Even the people telling the stories don't know the stories. So the gospel according to Mark. Who was Mark in the story? Mark ain't in the story. Then, but well, Matthew, he was an apostle. So they made his gospel first because Mark copied 90% Matthew copied 90% of Mark. So Matthew's, let me clear it up. Matthew is supposedly one of the 12 disciples. His gospel is the first in the New Testament, but yet 90% of his gospel is copied from Mark when no one knows who Mark is. Mark's story was just a story. And so Luke copies from Mark also and clears up Matthew is just a story. But who tells a historical story and you're talking about what other people was thinking? Think about this. Who tells historical stories? And like I had somebody say, well, what about Julius Caesar? I'm like, well, that's a Shakespearean play. It's a play. Yeah, are some of the facts real? Just like in 300 and other movies we've seen. What's love got to do with it? No, we done seen all kind of movies where, a lot of things are factual, but some things are fabricated. So in a story, how do you know what other people are thinking? And if somebody went off far away and prayed where nobody else can hear him, how do you know what they said? If he's in the garden praying and they fell asleep, who recorded what was being said? If Pontius Pilate talking to his wife and she talking about a dream she had, who was there to record this? Who told him this? Where did you get the information? This is clearly a story. You understand? This is a story. So when you leave religion, I don't have to believe this stuff because this clearly sounds like a story to me. It's not real. You want me to believe it word for word, and we get all in detail over each word, like who tells a story word for word, verbatim, 40 years after the fact? Well, it's an oral tradition. Oral tradition, 40 years later, could have a man being born of a virgin with no sexual conception, could have a man multiplying fish and bringing people back from the dead, healing the blind, the deaf, lame, lepers, and walking on water and being brought back from death himself 40 years later by oral tradition. That's not real. See, so another benefit of leaving religion is you can really think. You can use logic and reason and realize that's not real. I've never seen it happen. In all recorded history, we have no history outside of myths of someone being killed and coming back. Even the people that Jesus brought back in the Bible were not killed. He didn't bring John the Baptist back when he got his head cut off. He just said his little eulogy and moved on. Lazarus died of a disease. Though they died of diseases, Elijah brought the child back that died of a disease. They never brought somebody back, and it says, and they stabbed him with the sword and they brought him back. No, nobody was brought back who was killed. That doesn't happen. We don't even expect to believe that type of mess. He was killed, but he came back 3 days later. Come on, man. Really? I mean, there's so many benefits from leaving religion. Some of the cons of leaving religion is, like I said, you don't have a support system, which is why I made these videos. I had nobody to talk to because everybody who I taught and trained, ordained, and everything else thought I was lost. When I come, I'm the one who's always consumed by the Bible 24/7. I can't watch a TV program, do anything without lining up with the Bible. I remember back in the day, Snoop Dogg made they did the Murder Was the Case remix with a whole little short movie about it, and he made a deal with the devil and what have you. And so I kept trying to break it down and saying, and I was talking to my wife at the time, like, this doesn't make sense here, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't line up, and she said, it's not real, it's just a story. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, he's just rapping, he ain't really telling a real story. So that made sense to me. I should have known, I wish I'd have known back then what I was believing was just a story. But I equated everything that had to line up with that Bible, man, and it just didn't. So I mean, another benefit of being free is, I mean, it's just a mental case. You be thinking everybody else is in a box, when in fact you are the one in a box. You are confined in a box and can't leave that box. When you leave religion, you discover. I was pissed when I left religion to discover. So all this knowledge and stuff been out here all this time. So you have people like Dr. Dr. John, Henrik Clark and all of them, and Dr. Ben and I can't even name everybody right now, but Sheik, what's his name? I can't remember his name right now. I'm like, so these people dedicated their lives to discovering the truth of people, who write them off as if, they're lost. When in fact you're half reading one book and believing it. And it's amazing to me how people will, intelligent people too, will somehow make the Bible real. They want to know the contradictions. They will tell you, when you give them a contradiction, they already have some type of way to prove that the contradiction is not real, to prove that something that defies physics, that defies all types of reality is real. To make Jesus real for what? Because yet again, okay, you trying to prove Jesus is real. Why? What is the benefit to save us from sin? Sin is not real. Jesus hasn't saved anyone from anything ever. Anything anyone has done, they've done themselves. Or, we have things change over time, but there was no drastic change where we could honestly say, Jesus did that. Like we today, like, boom, racism just ended today. Why? Because Jesus did it. No one cares what race they are. White, black, Asian, it doesn't, Latino, Indian, it doesn't make a difference. No one cares what race you are right now. Everybody has equal rights. The government has changed everything. They are deciding to fix the water in Flint, Michigan. They're going to handle the murder problem over here in Chicago, Detroit. They're going to handle the opioid problems. We're going to do these things. Jesus has just declared that all things will be set right. He's tired of it. No more mass shootings. No more buying AR-15s and all this. We don't need it anymore. Why? Because the angels are standing guard. They are now the guardian angels. The angels are on every corner. They can't be numbered, so they're everywhere to make sure no child gets snatched up. No child gets raped or molested. No woman gets raped. No one gets robbed. No one gets murdered. None of these things happen. None of the politicians are going to pat their pockets while putting their foot on your neck. The angels have now made sure these things will not happen. Jesus has come through and made this change. Now everyone can live. All our refrigerators are full. You know what I'm saying? Your bills are paid. We all can get around with cars. You can walk around at night in any alley and nothing will happen to you. You don't need a gun, knife, nothing. Jesus has made it so it's all safe and free. That's where we want to live in. That ain't the where we live in. You could dive in shark-infested waters and the sharks will not mess with you. You could walk through the deepest flatlands and the lions and cheetahs and tigers won't mess with you. It won't happen. You are protected. You don't need eyeglasses anymore. You don't need surgeries anymore. You don't need prescriptions anymore. You don't need anything. Why? Because Jesus has set things straight. Come on. Have we seen this? People in the church got HIV, cancer, lupus, heart disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, blood clots, dementia. Come on, the list goes on. Nothing changes being in religion. Nothing changes at all. Jesus has done absolutely nothing. There are no more shootings, no more school shootings, no more black people being pulled over and killed by racist white police officers. We ain't seen none of this happen. None of this happens because it's not real. God doesn't do anything. God is a state of your mind that just makes you feel better, but doesn't do anything in reality. And we know this. We know this. And I think, you know, when we got some of you watching this, you might have freshly left religion, you're still on the fence. And you want to go back. And sometimes you want to go back because you miss going to church and having those same people that have loved you all your life love you again. And it hurts you that you got your parents might have turned on you, or your siblings, your cousins, your friends, your church members, those close to you, they've turned on you. And that's what causes a lot of people not to come out of religion, because of the backlash they receive for not believing this myth. They will sit around and lie in front and just live this lie, which won't allow you to be you, instead of coming out and just being true. You got gay people getting married, having kids, knowing this is not what they want, but it's what their family want, because their father is a pastor or a bishop, and you got to live up to this mess, only to find out later it destroys everybody when you come out and they come out and say and be like, I like the same sex. So because of religion, you got married. People are getting married because, you know, you got pregnant and you want to do what's right. So you got married even though you're not really compatible. And I mean, it happens. Sex happens and children are produced, but it doesn't mean that makes you compatible just because you produce life. You know, so religion causes a lot of this stuff. And back in the day, I know, like in my grandmother's day, I know y'all heard of shotgun wedding. The shotgun wedding was, you got my daughter pregnant, you marrying her, and they got the shotgun, so you got two choices. You go marry her or click clack. You know what I'm saying? Shotgun wedding. So a lot of older weddings, or you know what have you, or marriages were done not based on love. It was based on the fact of the embarrassment of you getting my child pregnant and y'all not married, making her look like a hoe. So, you know, these things have changed over the years, and this is all based on religion as well. Hey,
wonderful dad who I love.
Hi, I'm making a video, so let me make my video. So this is another, I don't know if you want to say a con about the whole thing, is that has to change, you know, because now the younger generation views marriage totally different. A lot of them don't want to get married. Even though today we might have a lot of children born out of wedlock, people are not just getting married just because somebody had a child with someone else. So the whole millennial, the new millennial or whatever generations after Generation X are changing the game up. The game has totally changed. They're not going to church anymore because they see it as funny to them. And I have you know, young people. So hold on. So they believe, it's funny to them. So they believe that Moses threw the staff on the ground and it turned into a snake. And people believe this, and I got to be like, yeah. And they crack up laughing like, this is insane. Who would believe throwing a staff on the ground and it would turn into a snake? Who would believe this? They're using logic and reasoning in their teens. They're not believing this crap. Whew, we're coming along. My generation, I'm in my 40s, almost 50, so we done for. I mean, most of us gonna come out, but I'm saying it's up to us to teach the younger people and embrace those who have left, who are older. I'm not saying it's older people who have left, and so these videos are to embrace these things so that you can, you know, go through your walk, because you're always dealing with people who are gonna be like, God did this and God bless you, I'm highly favored, all this. We gotta hear the religious foolishness all the time. So you know other benefits of leaving religion. I mean, you can just think freely, believe what you want to believe, do what you want to do, live how you want to live. That's how life is supposed to be. You only get one shot. This is it. There ain't no mansion in no sky waiting on you and all this other bull crap. This is it. Live this life. Don't look for something else to come. This is it. This is it. Live this one, and this is it. So, and for some of you who you have different types of people who left religion. Some leave religion, and like me, I'm making videos about it because I'm more vocal, so I'm saying things about religion. You got some people leave religion. They don't want to discuss these things. They don't care. Don't bring it up to them. They don't care. It's just stupid to them. And you have some who even combat it to a deeper level than me, who will do the debates and get into all of the scholarly things about leaving religion and what have you. It's just too much energy for me to do a whole lot of that. I'm not gonna debate and do whatever, because you're gonna believe what you believe, and I'm gonna not believe what you believe. So there's no need for me to debate you about that. When it seems stupid, I'm not gonna believe it, and I'm gonna leave it alone. So I'd rather, entertain those who are on the same page. And like when I went to the Kevin Wesley Born Winners thing, meetings, and dealing with people, and when you're in a whole area where everybody doesn't believe, it feels so good to be able to talk freely and know everybody doesn't believe. It's the greatest thing ever to be around a bunch of non-believers and don't have to believe in this stupid Jesus myth. So I would encourage everybody, if you can't get out, learn your way out, and don't be in it. Don't be fake and be living it for somebody else. If it's not what you believe or not what you're about anymore, you don't have to be vocal about it, but you don't have to participate in it either. Don't please other folks. Live your life. You got one life to live, and do that. Understood? So on that note, look, I'm going to end this video. Yet again, y'all like the videos. If you came this far, you got to hit the like button. I'm saying do that for me. If you don't subscribe, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Do me the knowledge on that, all right? And I'll hit y'all back on another video. Y'all take care out there. Peace.